Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a reading wrap-up. I haven't done one of these this year because I was just going to do one big wrap-up at the end of the year. That's like all the books I read in 2023. But I've seen that it's easier to do it monthly because then at the end of the year, you could just quickly go through the books all you read. Like, you don't really have to talk about the books. So I think I'm going to start doing that, like monthly wrap-ups. I'm not going to say the books I've read this year. I was going to do that, but I just don't see the point. I also kind of mentioned the books I read in my like monthly reset videos. So if you want to know that, then go watch those videos. But I am going to start doing these monthly wrap-ups. So here are the books I read this month. There's a lot of blue in here actually, but I'm so proud of how good I've been doing with reading, because if you know or don't know, I used to be a very slow reader and used to read like 2 books a month. Last year I think I read like 30 books in total, and now we're halfway through the year and the total books I've read is 25, and that's only halfway through the year. So I've been doing so good, so much better this year. I've just had more motivation to read. There's more books that I want to read. So yeah, we're gonna start off the video. So first book I read this month was Archer's Voice. It's basically about Archer and Bree. Bree moves to a new town because she's trying to get away from something that happened in her old town. She runs into Archer in like the grocery store, but she realized that he's not talking to her, and she's like, oh, he doesn't like me. So she thinks that he doesn't like her, basically. And that's how they go on for the book, but then she slowly finds out that he can't talk and that he just literally communicates with no one, and everyone sees him as like this weird like guy that just doesn't talk to anyone when he can't. And so then she starts getting close to him and everyone thinks she's weird. Everyone's like, why is this girl talking to him? Like, how is she talking to him? And then they grow from there. This is actually such a cute book. I gave this book 4.5, I think. Yeah, I gave this book 4.5 stars. Only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because I genuinely did really like the book, but I didn't give it 5 stars because Marcella is literally obsessed with this book. The way she talks about this book is different from how I would talk about it, and she gave this book like 5 stars. She literally loves this book, and just I didn't feel that much for the book, but it is still really a cute book. Next book I read was Travis, Theyre Connected. You don't really have to read this book first to read this one, but I would suggest it because in this book Archer and Bree are together. Everything that's mentioned in this book is first mentioned in this book, so it's easier to understand. This book is shorter, and basically Travis was in that book. He's related to Archer, and he was really mean in Archer's Voice. So this is like kind of a redemption arc. It's about him, and it's about Haven, or Haven, I'm guessing it's Haven. She is coming to the town. Her and her brother are always, like, she's had to take care of her brother, and they're always going from, like, town to town. So then they go to the town that they live in just to be there for a while. And she sees a guy, Gage, and she has, like, the biggest crush on him. And Gage is, like, this nice guy. She runs into Travis, too, which he's a cop, and he like pulled her over, and basically he's like trying to help her get with Gage. Then they start fake dating to get him mad, which eventually works. So then Gage wants her, but then she's conflicted because she's like, do I really want Gage or do I want Travis now? So that's basically what this book is about. Travis is much nicer in this book. You do see that at the end of the book, how he's like regrets everything that he did and how he wants to change, and then you get that in this book, how he wants to change and how he wants something like Archer and Bree. This was also a good book. I gave it 4 stars. No, I gave it 4.25. Reason I didn't give it like 4 stars is because I didn't think it was that low, but now looking back on it, I think 4 stars is fine, I think. So yeah, it's just either 4 star or 4.25. Yeah, good book. I don't know what to say about it. I feel like normal about this book. Next book I read was a poem book. Super short. It's called Sometimes I Fall Asleep Thinking About You. It was really good. If you guys know, I read another poem book. It was called I Gave Myself the World, and it was by the same author. She's literally so good. I loved both the poem books. I literally annotated so much in these, like literally an annotation in every page. Didn't like it more than the other one. The other one I really liked, But this one was still good. So yeah, I would suggest getting this phone book and reading it because it was so good. Then I read Twisted Love. I am starting this series. I'm actually currently reading Twisted Games, which I'm halfway through. Which I'll probably finish today, to be honest. But halfway through this one. I did read Twisted Love. Twisted Love is brother's best friend trope. So like we can't be together basically. So Ava, it's about Ava and Alex. Ava gets stuck in like the rain one day and it's her brother's birthday and she calls her brother to go get her. And she like never calls her brother for anything unless she needs something. And he's like, what do you need? She's like, I need a ride, I'm in the rain. And he's like, well, I'm not gonna go get you, so I'm gonna send one of my friends. His friend, Alex, goes to get her. And he's like very serious. He's like, get in the car. He takes her to her brother's party. Basically, her brother asks Alex for a favor because he's leaving. So he's asked Alex to take care of his sister. So Alex moves in to his brother's house, which I'm pretty sure is like right next door to Ava, if I'm not mistaken. He's like taking care of Ava, very overprotective. And then it gets to some point where it's like, are you really protecting Ava because her brother told you to or because you want to? Yeah, that's the whole romance part. There's a lot of other stuff that has to do with it. Alex and his family. So something happened with his family and his uncle, and he has to deal with all of that. And then Ava and her past, something happened with her mom and her dad. So you get that part of the book too. This book I also gave 4.25, but I would give it like 4 stars, 4.25, yeah. I thought it was gonna be much better just because how hyped up the series is and how hyped up this guy is. Alex is really hyped up. He was just like very normal to me. I actually didn't annotate a lot in the book. Next book I read was a very anticipated read because my favorite YouTuber, Sarah, she loves this book. And a lot of other people love this book. It's either you love it or you hate it. And I was like, I have to read it. So I read Magnolia Parks. This book was literally so good. I loved this book. It's basically about Magnolia and BJ. They live in London. They're basically very toxic. They used to be together, but BJ did something, and then after that, they just haven't been the same since. She can't trust him. So they're just very like on and off, toxic. Yeah, that's basically this whole book. You see her with other people, you see him with other people, you see them together. I love it. The vibe of this book is literally like Gossip Girl. If you like Gossip Girl, I think you would like this. So yeah, I gave this book 4.75, but I literally loved this book. I think about this book every single day, and I can't wait to continue it, which we'll get there. Next book I read was Things We Never Got Over. I had been pushing this book back so much because of like how thick it was. But after reading Magnolia Parks, I was like, it's pretty thick. I think I could read this one, which I read this book in like 3 days or 4 days. So literally not that bad. It's basically about Naomi and Knox. Naomi, she's running away from her wedding and she goes to this small town where she's like not welcomed because of her twin sister. So everyone thinks she's her twin, and she's like, I'm literally not my twin. And that's because her twin has done like terrible things in this town, and she's like, I promise I'm not her. Then she finds out that there's a kid that she has to take care of, which is her niece, her twin's daughter. She's like, great, I ran into this town where my sister's unliked and people think I'm her, and then I have to take care of her kid and worry about what my twin sister is doing because she literally ran away. You get that whole thing, her taking care of the kid and trying to build a bond with the kid, and then her building a bond with Knox. I actually really liked this book. At first I was like, there's no way a romance small town book needs to be this thick, but it just makes so much sense because it's a slow burn and they like weren't gonna get along that quickly. So I actually really liked it. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I would recommend reading it, and I can't wait for the other books. The other book is literally on my shelf, Things We Hide from the Light. I don't know when I'm gonna read that because I'm really into the Magnolia Park series and I wanna get that done, but I do have the other book there. But this book, really good, I would recommend. Last book that I'm showing in this wrap up is Daisy Hates. This is the second book in the Magnolia Parks like universe. This is about Daisy, Christian, and Julian, which is Daisy's brother. Let's just say I gave this book 5 stars. I literally loved this book so much. I literally think about it every day. I love it. And you see a little bit of Daisy and Christian in the other book, but Daisy and Christian are friends with benefits, and that's all they are. But Daisy is literally like in love with him. She tries to like hide those feelings from him and like from herself too by being with other people. And then her brother Julian, the reason why you get his point of view is because his bond with Daisy is literally, I can't. There was a quote in this book. I'm gonna read you guys my favorite quotes from this book. Oh my god. She said, okay, this is like towards the end, obviously. Daisy says, it's like her brother's like comforting her and he gives her a sad smile and kisses me on the forehead. And it doesn't sound like much, I know, but if my heartbreak was a fever, my brother is the cool cloth they'd lay on my forehead. That is so cute. Like, their bond is like crazy, and the reason they have such a strong bond is because they went through something when they were little, and ever since then Julian has had to take care of Daisy like she's his child. That's just how he sees her. So yeah, so you get their dynamic, you get Daisy and Christian and what they go through. If you want to read this book, I really would suggest reading Magnolia Parks first, because I would read Magnolia Parks first because you're going to be confused with Christian's feelings, and they talk about Christian's feelings in Magnolia Parks. This is another quote. This is my favorite quote in the book. I literally think about this quote every day. I want like a sign with the quote in my room. The quote says, "The feel of him is my favorite thing in the world. For all of history and all of time, write it down, ring the town bell, and tell the scribes. I'll wear it on my heart's sleeve forever that I love him." Like, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Oh my god, I can't. I love this book. 5 stars. 5 stars right here. It's my new obsession, guys. It's so unhealthy. I literally went to the website, like the Magnolia Parks website, to look for merch because I was like, I need merch for these books. And I found, but it was like $40, I think, or like $30. And I was like, you know what? My friends can make it. So I ordered 4 sweatshirts from Shein. And my friends are gonna make me the same exact sweatshirts that they sell on the website. I'm obsessed, to say the least. To the point where I even ordered the next book already, and I'm gonna read it as soon as I finish Twisted Games. So it's literally there waiting on my desk for me to read. I'm not only gonna do a wrap up, I am gonna do my TBR too. So starting with Twisted Games, obviously I'm gonna finish this book very soon, either today or tomorrow, most likely today. So yeah, Twisted Games is the second book in the Twisted series. It's the second book after Twisted Love. It's about Reese and Bridget. Reese is Bridget's new bodyguard. Basically, like, can't be with her, but he wants to be with her. That whole thing. So yeah, that's Twisted Games. Next book I want to read is, of course, Magnolia Parks. And like, I don't really even know what to say anymore because I'm so excited to read this book. This one's like 500. Damn, this one's 500 pages. This one's much thicker than the other two. But I really don't care. I'm so excited to get back into Magnolia and BJ. So this is the next book I want to read. We're gonna go over to my bookshelf so that I can just pick out books and tell you guys which ones I want to read. I do want to read Meet Me at the Lake this month in June because summer, of course, I really want to read it. So I do want to read Meet Me at the Lake. I am going to reread The Summer of Broken Rules. If you guys don't know, I was literally obsessed with this book when I read it. It was Marcella's book that I was reading, so I got my own copy and I'm gonna annotate it all myself, and I'm so excited because I literally loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. So I'm reading these two. I'm also going to reread Beach Read because it's like getting back in. Like, everyone's like rereading it. Everyone, meaning like Sarah and Destiny, which are like booktubers, they reread them. Haley reread them, another YouTuber. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna reread it because this was like one of the first books I read, kind of, and I was actually in a slump when I read it. It took me so long to read this book, so I feel like that also affected the way I felt about the book. So I think I'm gonna read it again just to see how I feel about it. Another book I want to read, Flawless. This one is also getting really hyped, this whole like country series. If you know me, you know I love country. I own like 4 pairs of country boots. I'm so excited because I know as soon as I get into this series, I'm gonna be obsessed. I can't wait. I'm pretty sure this book, the guy works for this girl's dad. I think, I'm not even sure, but I know it's country themed and I'm so excited to get into that. I also want to read Throttled by Lauren Asher. She wrote the Dreamland Billionaire series, Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, Final Offer, and I loved those books. So I do want to read this. It's like a series of books. Throttled, Wrecked, I don't know, it's a bunch of books. But this is the first one. And basically, the guy is a Formula 1 racer. And I had been looking for a book where the guy was like a racer or like into cars or drives cars. I remember reading Bully once last year and I loved it because the guy, he was in like races like at night. He would race at night and I loved that. So I was like, I need another book where the guy like races or something. So here it is and I'm so excited to read it. Yeah, that's my TBR for this month, including Magnolia Parks and Twisted Games. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you know when I post my next video. I am going to post a lot more because school literally is done. I didn't go to school today because it was early release and I have 3 more days left of school, which it's going to be early release every day, and I'm only going one day because there's a ceremony, but the other days I'm not going, meaning summer's going to start, meaning I'm going to have more time. So I do want to post a lot more, so stay tuned because I have some videos planned. Video that has to do with these 3 books. So stay tuned. Yeah, turn on your post notifications and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.